All right, guys, welcome back to Middle Class Reactions. So for this video, we're going to change it up a little bit. We're going to go take a look at the Joe Rogan and Stevo interview for a few minutes. So Stevo, his content's not for me. I don't watch any of his stuff. This video has been going crazy viral. There's rant has by Joe Rogan, so I want to take a look at it. Honestly, I'm shocked how Joe Rogan reacted on this one. I agree with him, but I'm shocked how he reacted on this, and he goes on a rant that he usually doesn't go on. So let's take a look at it, and then I'll give my opinion on it at the end, but I'm going to try to keep the commentary during his rant to a minimum. Let's take a look.
Talk to this transgender person, like, hey, can I run something by you? And I spoke with them. They described to me a level of oppression that genuinely fucking broke my heart. They said, hey, let me tell you, like, I am not allowed to use the bathroom at my own place of work. We've got, like, politics.
That's not true. They're just not allowed to use the bathroom. It doesn't align with their biological sex.
Okay.
But you got to realize, they're not all... Listen, I genuinely think there's people that feel like they are in the wrong biological sex.
Sure.
Right? But there's also people that are fucking perverts. And they have a thing called autogynephilia. And what that is they get a turn on by pretending to be a woman. They get excited by it. And they want to be around women. And they're creeps. And so you give them a fucking Willy Wonka golden ticket to go into the women's locker room and the women's bathroom and stare at women and pretend you're a woman when you're just a crazy man and you're actually into women.
Okay.
That's real too, man.
I don't doubt that that's real, and I know that it's a super complex, nuanced thing.
But here's what's not complex. What is your chromosomes?
Right.
Okay? This is the same thing for competing. Right. All these fucking mental gymnastics that seemingly intelligent people do to justify biological males competing with females.
Oh, I'm with it. I don't think anybody's
It's the same
that.
thing.
Right.
It's the same thing.
Right.
And especially as speaking as a man who has daughters, like, there are creeps. And if you give a creep, and I'm not saying all trans people are creeps.
Right.
But a lot of these fucking people that are in trouble for going into women's bathrooms dressed as a woman with a fucking beard and a heart on are just that. They're creeps.
Right, okay.
They're crazy men. And these crazy men, their entire life, they would get beaten up for that. And now all of a sudden, they have to be accepted. So you've got two things going on at the same time.
For sure.
You've got people with gender dysphoria that genuinely wish they were a woman or genuinely wish they were a man. And by the way, it's men that are the problem. No one gives a fuck about trans men going into the men's bathroom. Come on in. Who cares?
Right.
Who cares? Oh, a girl's going to shit next to you? Or what is she going to do? She's going to pee out of a funnel?
Right,
what is she going to do? Like,
hey,
no one's going to get hurt.
I'm not arguing
no
with
one's
you
going to get hurt. This is the problem. When you
Right.
allow perverts to have this hall pass to go into women's locker rooms and bathrooms.
Yeah.
So you can't say you're not allowed to use the bathroom where you work. That's not true. You're just not allowed to use the women's room where other women are in there because you're not a woman. And I know you wish you were a woman or whatever's going on.
Okay.
But you're not.
You know what? You make a very, very good point.
If you're a woman, talk to most women about this. And it's, unless they're insanely captured by this woke ideology where they can't see reality and the fact that perverts are still a real fucking thing.
Yeah.
And this loophole. You've given loopholes. Like, there's men in prison. I think it's like 47 biological males in California are housed in women's prisons. Some of them are sex offenders. Some of them in Canada. There's a guy in Canada that they had to pay for his boob job while he was in jail for being a sex offender, and they put him in a women's prison. Yeah.
I'm not arguing with
There's
any of that.
men who have pretended to be women, gone into women's prison, had sex with women and impregnated them. There's men who have sexually assaulted and raped women in prison that are pretending to be women with functional dicks. All they have to do is identify, air quotes. When you just have to identify, that's it. No operation, no nothing, identify. That is bonkers. And do you think they're giving them estrogen when they get in prison? Do they give hormone replacement therapy to people in prison? I don't know. But even then, it's still a man with estrogen. You can't escape your fucking chromosomes, okay? And until you can, until there's some sort of a CRISPR thing that like, you really want to be a woman, we can turn you into an actual woman. Until that happens, what you're dealing with is a form of gender dysphoria, which has always been classified as a mental illness until people became much more empathetic and sensitive to people that have this problem.
Right. And you make a completely valid argument.
Nobody should be able to tell you can't do something fucking stupid like get a boob job because they are transgender. That's crazy.
Understood. My experience was that I didn't get any of this, like, sense that this was a creepy pervert, anything like that. I just thought,
they don't have to be a creepy pervert.
Right.
Right. But it's still a man.
Understood. I just thought, man, I heard what they had to say about, politicians trying to put them in internment camps and,
Who's doing that? What politicians are saying they should be put in internment?
So I'm really trying to not give commentary right now, but the fact that Stevo would even say something like that, like, oh, politicians are trying to put them in internment camps, that's not happening. And the fact that he says that, what it tells me is that he watches stuff like The View, and that's where he gets his news. But shut up for another minute, and because this has got like another 2 minutes on it, then I'll go in depth.
There was some kind of
there might be one kook out there that's saying that to try to get attention. Right. There's no movement to try to put transgender people in internment camps.
Okay, well then I'll land on this.
Do you know who's killed more people than ICE this year? Trans shooters. Do you know the majority of these high school shootings have been transgender people?
So that's where we're going to hold it. That's pretty much the end of this rant. They talk about it for a few more minutes, but nothing crazy. And that last point that he made there, I was shocked to hear him make that point because it's true, but most people just don't make it. That's not a thing most people say. Or honestly, I don't think a lot of people, especially who lean left, I don't really think they pay attention to it. In all honesty, I don't think they really look into it. But I always knew Stevo was kind of a lefty, but I didn't realize he was like leftist retarded. I never realized that. It's kind of new because again, I don't watch a whole lot of his content. His shenanigans aren't for me. But the thing that stood out to me here was one, just how fed up Rogan looks with the transgender woke ideology nonsense. Like he looks slightly pissed and he looks completely fed up with it. And for him to go on a 6-minute rant, pretty much a 6-minute rant about that for him is kind of off color, but in a good way. It also shows me that even though he's fed up with Trump, that he hasn't just, a lot of people blame or will say Joe Rogan is, he just jumps from whatever's popular to whatever's popular. Like when he went from being majorly a lefty to being, I'm not going to say a right-wing conservative, but definitely more conservative now than he was 5 years ago. Still shows me that like right now he's holding his same beliefs. Like, hey, if you want to go be a tranny, do it, but there are certain realities. And I don't think 5 to 8 years ago he would have said something like that. So I think he's just done with the woke nonsense. I think him living in Texas and him seeing the other side of the political aisle really, really changed him in a lot of ways. And it's happened fairly quick. I mean, he's even started going to church, which is, for Rogan, is insane. It's good. It's crazy. So, yeah, it is. I'm glad that he's willing to call it out, even with, because I'm pretty sure he's like really good buddies with Stevo. I'm glad he's willing to call it out, even with people like that, because it needs to be called out. And like with the 26 midterms coming up, I think the Republicans are going to get slaughtered and it's going to be a bloodbath. And I think in 28, the election is going to go to the Democrats. I think it's important that people like Rogan, that, they're not just going back to the woke ideology nonsense. So that does make me happy to see. But that's all I got on this one, guys. Nice and quick and short. Like, share, subscribe, do all the stuff you know you need to. I'll catch y'all later.